Hello, I'm Alan, and this is Teresa, and welcome to today's edition of Alan's Cycling Adventures. Well, it is October 14th. We are down here in Salisbury, Maryland for the start of the Seagull Century. As you can see, there is the start line. We actually got here a couple of minutes late between breakfast and finding the start line, whatever. But we are here for our metric century for October. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or ideas for future editions of Alan's Cycling Adventures, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Well, without further ado, let's ride. As you may have gathered from that intro, we did have a little bit of trouble finding our way to the start. We didn't really know our way around the campus. The ride started at Salisbury University in Salisbury, Maryland. And while we did have a map, we found our way to the start line. We just got there a few minutes late. But in any event, in terms of the weather for this ride, it was 53 degrees Fahrenheit at the start with a feels like of 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Probably climbed up to about 60 or 60-ish during the ride. It wasn't too cold. The humidity was 88%. And at the start, the wind was 3.8 miles per hour from the east-southeast. It's not like the wind picked up, though, or anything. In terms of the weather, while it did rain, it was kind of a steady rain, not like thunder showers or anything like that. It did get heavy at times, and we did get quite soaked along the route, but that's okay. As far as organized rides go, I do have to say this for the Seagull Century. The route was very well marked. They gave us GPS files well in advance. There was one detour along the route, and they had emailed us ahead of time that they had had to put a detour in, and that they were posting, or they said in the email that they had posted an updated GPS file. I did download the updated GPS file right away, and it did not match the detour. So we went with the road markings as opposed to the GPS. I never did find out exactly what the reason for the detour was, but that's neither here nor there. But as I was saying, in terms of organized rides, the route was impeccably marked on the road, very easy to follow. The rest stops were well spaced and well stocked, and the Finnish festival was very good. As organized rides go, this was one of the better ones, if not the best one, with the possible exception of the 5-borough bike tour in New York, where there's no road markings, but the roads are closed and they've got barriers, and there's no mistaking which way to go on that ride. But on this ride, very well marked, very happy with the organization. The bike expo the day before was very well laid out. Lots of vendors there. They had meals available for us. You could purchase ahead of time, dinner the night before, breakfast the morning of the ride and dinner after the ride, although we did skip that dinner because we were quite soaked and just wanted to get back to the hotel and get showered and changed. In terms of the ride itself, the distance actually turned out fairly well short of a metric century. I think that was because of the detour, because the original route that was on the GPS file was over 100 kilometers. However, we did happen to record the distance from breakfast to the start line, as well as from the finish festival back to the car. The only thing we didn't record was when we rode from the car to breakfast. So from what we had recorded, we rode 62.05 miles, which came out to 99.86 K. And with riding from the parking lot to breakfast, we broke 100 K. We called it a day. We tried to ride laps around campus afterwards to stretch it to 100 K, but it's a small campus, and we were getting soaked and declared it a victory and done. Anyway, our average moving speed on this ride was 13.3 miles per hour. Our maximum speed was 21 miles per hour. Our moving time was 4 hours, 33 minutes, and 5 seconds, with an elapsed time of 5 hours, 18 minutes, and 24 seconds. My average heart rate was 107, and my max heart rate was 123. This was a very flat route. The total elevation gain on this route was only 308 feet. And I burned 1,116 calories. In terms of where the ride was, it was entirely in Maryland. It began at Salisbury University. They're the ones who sponsored the event, and Salisbury University's mascot is the seagull, which is, I think, why it's called the Seagull Century. We headed south into Fruitland, and then Eden, and then Princess Anne, where we went through the University of Maryland Eastern Shore campus, down into Wellington, Cokesbury, West Pocomoke, Pocomoke City. Then we turned around and went back through West Pocomoke, through a lot of very rural areas into Fruitland, and back into Salisbury to the campus of Salisbury University, where we did laps until we decided we had had enough, even though the ride itself didn't end up being over 100 K. Will we do this ride again? Yeah, I think we will. I have to say that all of the factors that they could control were excellent. The one factor that was not excellent was the weather, and that's not their fault. One thing that did add to the misery factor is I had bought shoe covers just prior to the event to try to keep my feet dry. Unfortunately, the shoe covers that I bought did not keep my feet dry. Teresa's feet did not stay dry either. And so by the time we finished, we were quite wet and soaked through and ready to change. Anyway, you can get a pretty good idea of how hard it was raining at this point by looking at how wet the road is, as well as the water collecting on the lens of the camera. But it looks like, from the video, it looks like we're getting fairly close to getting back into Salisbury. I would say that we had a good time. And yes, here we are getting ready to cross the finish line. And there's the finish line, and now we're just trying to do laps around campus to build time. Anyway, that's it for this ride. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you again in November. And here's the afterword. Here we are at the finish line. A little bit soaked, but that was fun, I guess. Yeah. The first half of it we stayed pretty dry. Anyway, that's our metric century for October. 10 down, 2 to go. And so until next time. Oh, and of course, gotta show you the... Yay, you did it. Seagull Century 2023. And so until next time, stay safe out there and dry.